What is going on, guys? It is Parker here, and of course this is Project Sequoia, and it is time to step this thing up to the next level. In today's video, going to be putting 212s in here and trying to do a bunch of other stuff too. So yeah, it's going to be epic. Y'all stay tuned. Alright guys, let's take a quick look at what we got going on here. If you saw the last video on this build, you'll know we got those two batteries in. We mounted my 3000 watt audio pipe amp. Of course, we got one of the runs ran for the main power. Got to run the other one though. Might do that today. Of course, fuses. And then at the moment, I just got this little box in here for the last video I did. This is the Toro Fierce sub. Been very impressed with it. $100 sub. And it, for that price, it sounds really good. And I've enjoyed it. I've had it in here about a week now. And then other thing we got to do is I've got my bass knob hooked up to where, of course, you can adjust the bass, but I want to hook up my volts meter and then better secure it in there. So gonna try to do that today as well. Not sure if we'll have time though. Over here we still have my second run of power wire, which we need to hook up, and then we need to do the full big 3. Now that might be for another video because the alternator is way down there, and that's a huge, absolutely huge pain. But yeah, that is another step we do need to do here in a future video. There's a huge mess in my little garage, but of course this is the box we are going to be using. Now this box is about 5 cubic feet total, so for 2 subs that'll be great. And it does have the adjustable port. Now it's as short as it goes right now, which tunes it at about 45 hertz, but we're going to make it longer so it'll be tuned lower, just for, better musical sound. And then we have these 2 American Bass Elite subs. These are what y'all picked out in the poll for the subs under 160 bucks a piece. So this is going to be some true budget banging here. And then some of y'all may have seen this, some of y'all may have not. This is the amp we're going to be going with. Now, not sure if I'm going to be installing this today or not. Probably not today. There's still more electrical I really need to do before we can really use this thing. But this, of course, is the Tar Amps MD 12,000.1. So it's 12,000 watts at 1 ohm RMS power. Very, very cool. Super excited to have this thing in. Guys, this system is going to be out of this world. Now, of course, we're not going to be staying with these American Bass subs. We're going to be getting something much bigger here shortly. But for now, just kind of wanted to show that you really can get some pretty good bang on a budget here. I'm hoping we can get into the 150 dBs with these things. But anyway, let's pull the other sub out of there and get this box loaded up. Okay, guys, this box is really heavy. Now, it has got 5 baffles on it. That is way, way, way overkill. But I bought it that way, so we're just rolling with it. It's also double baffled all the way around. But yeah, it should slide right into here. We're going to have to pull this guy up and move my fuses somehow. But yeah. Alright guys, it fits in there just perfectly. Could not be happier. We'll probably just mount that fuse box right to the side of the box. So yeah, that was perfect. To set the seat up so we can make sure it would fit right. But we still have a little bit of room back here, which is good. I could put the new amp back here. Not really sure exactly what I'll do, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. Alright, so we have that mounted right there. Just perfect. And we have the seats up just so we can make sure it's fitting just right. So now we're just going to put some braces down here and then on the front to hold this in place so it doesn't slide. Alright guys, so now that is in there, seems to be very secure. Not that it was going to slide around a whole lot anyway, but might as well have it in there as solid as possible. So yeah, I guess now it's time to go ahead and drop the subs in. Alright guys, so if you do not know, these are the American Bass Elites. Now, my most viewed video on YouTube is the video of me reviewing one of these back from last summer. Now at the time, these things were 109 bucks. They have gone up in price, but it was only about 130 $5 a piece. So really awesome there. These things are just badass little subs. Take a quick look at it. We do have a stamped steel basket, 3-inch coil, of course the nice black coil. We have dual sewn-in tinsel leads, nice, real stiff cone, and then we have this really nice rib surround. I think this thing looks really cool. So yeah, I had one of these subs, of course, back then. I loved it. I pushed it pretty hard. Didn't give me any issues whatsoever. Now I sold that one, but since y'all picked this one, figured it really was kind of the perfect one just to bring it back to really kind of how my channel really got started off this past summer. So yeah, I think these are going to be really cool. Definitely a lot louder than what I've had so far, and it's just going to be some pure budget bass. So really excited to see how these things do. Guys, these seats folding up really makes this so much easier. Alright, so we're running these things in parallel. So we have positive to positive and negative to negative. And these are dual 4 ohms, so that'll drop each sub down to 2 ohms. And then that'll run out to here. And then it'll be positive to positive and negative to negative going into the amp. And that will drop my final impedance to about 1 ohms. So yeah, that will be just perfect. So we've got ran in here, and it says 1 ohm to go to the 2 outer terminals. So that is what we did. Tested on the multimeter. It was reading about 0.7 ohms, which is pretty average. You're not going to get exactly 1 ohm, but yeah, I guess we can go ahead and give her a little test. Actually, before we test it, I'm going to go ahead and pull the port out. We're going to make it as long as it'll go, just so it'll be tuned lower. Now, that means it won't get quite as loud, but in my opinion, it'll sound a whole lot better. And for this car, I'm literally more about this quality and the lows than having something that peaks at like 50 hertz. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that in there. All right, guys, got them in, got the port adjusted back, so it should be tuned to closer to 35 hertz. Well, let's test it out and see how it sounds. Wow, guys, that is really a big difference. It's really crazy how just having 2 12s, even though it's on about the same power as I would have had with one of my dual 2 ohm single 12s, it just sounds so good, guys, and being tuned a little lower, you really can just feel it moving a lot of air. So very, very exciting. Remember, we're still on the 3K amp. You know, we have a 12K amp to put on here before too long. Of course, some other stuff we got to do first, but yeah, guys, very, very exciting. Okay, look at this over here. You can see that nice longer port. Guys, it sounds so good. Very, very excited. I've been waiting to do this for forever. Finally got some good weather, so figured go ahead and throw it in. All right, guys, so I think the next thing I really need to do is hook up the voltmeter on my bass knob. Now, without it hooked up, the bass knob itself still works, but I, of course, can't see my volts, and I think that would be really handy to see. So yeah, we are going to do that. Just got to hook up all these. So what I want this to do is really just to read my voltage at the back batteries. I already have a voltmeter on the car itself that'll just kind of tell me the general voltage of the car. So we're going to be running a lead, I think around this side, back to the batteries, and we'll get our voltage from there. So we have some pretty heavy duty 18 gauge wire right here. Of course, this is from Sky High Car Audio. So just going to be running that from one of the battery terminals up to the front. Alright guys, with the car on, with just the accessory on, of course the alternator is not on, we are sitting at 12.25. And with this on, let's see what it says. So it says 12.1. So let's see, where is it? So we're gonna just adjust this little guy over here. Yes, you just turn that little knob in there and you can see we're now reading 2.2 and 2.23. So that is how you get that all hooked up. All right guys, so we got it in there. And I just got some 3M tape, kind of hold it in place. So it should be pretty good. So yeah guys, pretty easy. Let's just get all this back together. Alright guys, it's time to do a little bit of planning. This is where y'all are going to be helping me out here as well. So I picked up another battery. This is a Kinetic, and that is the HC2400 Blue. So obviously I think that's going to sit right here next to these. That obviously fits in there just perfectly. So battery's going to go there. And then I'm kind of wanting to free up this space, because that way if I need to add more batteries, I can do that right up along this side here. Because for now, this thing is going to be plenty. I can put way, way bigger 12s in here for now. It's going to be a little while before I go to more 12s. And even if I went to 4 12s, I could build the box. I could build a box that came further out, because I got all this room up here. But anyway, what that brings me to is where to put this big old amp. Now, this amp isn't really huge, but it's still pretty big. It is definitely longer than the audio pipe here. Now, for now, I could put it where I have the audio pipe, but again, if I go to get more batteries, really doesn't seem to be a great place to put it. Now, I could potentially put it on the side of the box right here. Now, a lot of people say don't mount your amp to the side of your box, but since the box is bolted down to this floor here that I've built, don't think that's going to be a big issue. And of course I'd put some rubber spacers in there just to dampen any vibrations. So I could mount it, I could lower the, I could change up that right there, and I could mount it right there. That would be pretty easy and convenient. Or I could mount it over here where this one is, or I could mount it, you know, I could mount it something like that, but I don't know if I want it right under the port. Y'all let me know in the comments if that's a big deal or not. It might be just fine, but I'm really not sure. And then the one other place I could totally mount it is back here. There's plenty of room in here to mount it. Only problem is when the seats are up, y'all think that would be enough venting for it. I mean, it would probably be fine, but I do know these things need to stay cool and they're not too great at it. So yes, plenty of room to mount it back there, but you all let me know if that would be a good place. I don't know. Mounting it right up along here right now kind of seems like the best place to go, but I just really am not sure. But yeah, it's going to be really cool to have that other battery mounted right there. And then we got to finish running our dual zero leads to the front. So finish that one off and finish the one off in the front and get the big 3 done in the front, and then find a alternator to replace with the front stock alternator. If anybody knows somebody, you know, that builds those and would like to sponsor the video with one, that would be awesome. Alternators are not cheap, but I'll keep looking around. Maybe I'll find something. Anyway, yeah guys, let me know where you want me to mount it. Should I mount it here where this one is? Should I mount it in front here, on the side of the box, or behind the box? You all let me know where you think would be the best place to put it, and we'll just kind of see. Maybe that's where I'll stick it. Now, hopefully in the next video, we'll get the full big 3 run, and then hook up the 3rd battery that I have for the back, and go and get the tar amps in there, and just make sure all that works. So yeah, hopefully that'll be the next video, but we will see. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much. Let's end this with playing a few songs and testing this out. Actually, first, let's get a dB reading just for the heck of it. We'll see what it'll do with the 212s. Of course, we're still on the 3K amp, but let's see what it'll do. Okay, let's start with a 40 hertz test tone and see what it does. Alright guys, so 144 with a 40 hertz test tone. Now the box is tuned to around 35 hertz, so that really isn't too bad. When I was getting to the 49 dB in the Jeep, on those two 12s. Of course, one, those 12s were broke in, and then 2, they were a little softer sub, so they didn't need quite as much power to move. And then 3, and the big difference is that box was tuned to 45 hertz. So of course, just gonna get a little louder when your box is tuned higher, but in my opinion, having it tuned lower sounds better.